Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this video. Today we are going to talk about the movie that I just got done watching, which is called Bridges of Spies with Tom Hanks. This movie was actually really good, and I recommend that each person go out and watch this as soon as possible, especially after looking at its weekend box office opening, which only grossed about $15.3 million. So I want to tell you about this movie if you haven't seen the previews of it. Tom Hanks plays an attorney who deals more with insurance law than anything, yet is asked to do some stuff for the federal government. Now, this movie is based during the Cold War back in 1916, so you see Tom Hanks as a person who doesn't know if he really wants to do it in the beginning, yet decides that he has to do this for his country. So you watch him actually be the lawyer, a defense lawyer for the bad guy in the movie. And so the bad guy is actually being charged with treason, and so Tom Hanks is actually defending him in a society back in the 60s where it didn't matter if he was innocent or guilty. All that mattered was what the public thought, and the public thought he was guilty. And since he was being charged with being a spy, he was automatically found guilty. The good things about the movie is Tom Hanks' character was able to talk the judge into seeing somewhat of a bigger picture. And one of the things that he did is he was able to talk him into whether or not the gentleman should get life or death. And so Tom Hanks was able to talk to the judge to be able to decide what is the best punishment for the crime. And I won't give too much away. But so later on, as you watch the movie, and if you've seen the previews, you know that they meet up to do an exchange. And Tom Hanks is actually again asked to be the person who facilitates that. So not only did the government ask him to be the guy to represent this person, knowing that Tom Hanks' character, which is Donovan, would be assassinated in public as his character is on the line, but now he's being asked to facilitate this transaction that cannot be backed by the government, and he has to do this in Berlin. Now, back in the 60s, Berlin was actually divided east and west, and so some of those areas were not real safe for anyone, especially Americans. And so Tom Hanks says, I have a duty to do these things, and he takes the time to go over there to facilitate this. And the movie is really based off of this whole interaction from beginning to end that Tom Hanks has with, in this case, the bad guy, who is Adolf. And it really depicts a lot of different things. And so you see Tom Hanks' character, the good guy, and then you see this bad guy who really, in essence, is another good guy. And you don't really know how to take it. You don't know how to take either one of them. You see Tom Hanks doing the best things for people. And one of his quotes he says, people matter. When he's arguing for getting these people back, he says, people matter. And it's something that resonated throughout the whole movie because even knowing that he was going to lose this case, he said that guy deserves to have his time in court. And so he helps, and he continues to help. And this is based off of a true story, and come to find out, Tom Hanks' character in real life was actually a negotiator for the government after this, and was able to save quite a few people. And if you watch the whole movie, you'll be able to see that exact number. And so the story really plays out, and you're seeing a man go through all these different things. And not only does he deal with what's right and wrong when it comes to his morals, but what's best for his family. Then when he goes to Berlin, you watch a man struggle to find the difference and find the hope that he once had when he comes back home. This movie, being based in the 60s, actually had really good costumes. They had really good designs going in the backgrounds, whether it's backdrops, whether they were able to build small areas that looked like the 1960s. They did a great job with it. I didn't see any instances where in one scene, per se, a tie was tied and the next scene it wasn't. They did a really good job with the editing of this movie, which is one of the things I really look for. I hate going to a movie and in one scene a gentleman's holding a glass or a lady's holding a glass of water that's full, and then the next one it's half empty, then the next scene it's full. Just be consistent. And so this movie is really consistent in that manner. And so it's really good to see those things. The other thing that I want to talk about is the overall grade that I would give this movie. I actually thought that this movie was great, and I would give it 9.1 out of 10. There are movies that I don't grade so highly. I went and watched another movie earlier this week or this weekend, and I actually am afraid to do a review on it because it was pretty bad. But this one was great. If you have not got to the theaters to watch it, I recommend watching it. You're going to see a man battle a few different things while showing that people matter and the goodness of us outweighs any negativity. So get out, watch this movie, support those actors. Tom Hanks puts on a magnificent performance. I would say it's up there in the Oscar race already this year. I feel like being able to portray a real life person and being able to do it in that manner. If I would go on a limb, I would say it was his best role. It was his best role that he's done, in my opinion. He absolutely did a great job with it. Again, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe below. I do want to take a moment to thank my sponsors. I am proudly sponsored by S15 Designs, and in fact, I actually just got one of the shirts in. So here is one of their shirts. You can get these at s15designs.com. Take a moment to go look at them. Subscribe below. We'll be doing movie reviews later this week again. I'll also be doing a recap of the NFL, hopefully tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.